Welcome to week 9. Like you said, it is incredible how fast the quarter actually goes. And this is your first quarter at UCI, so you're experiencing for the first time just how insane it is. You feel like you've just settled into a class and then boom, you're doing midterms, and then boom again, you're doing finals, right? That's the reality of life on the quarter system. And so I just wanted to give you a couple of tips for dealing with that in the future. I think a big important way to be successful in the quarter system is to read the syllabus before the quarter starts. If the professor hasn't posted it, go ahead and email them and ask them to send it to you, just to get your head around what you need to do. Sometimes you've got a lot of reading to do in the first week, so to be able to get started on that and hit the ground running is really important. I also am a huge believer in backwards planning. So whether you schedule your life in an online Google Calendar or an old-fashioned planner, which I totally recommend, by the way, I'm an analog kind of girl, backwards plan. Go through the calendar, write out, weeks 1 through 10, and then go to your syllabi, find out what all of your assignments are, write them into your calendar at the beginning of the quarter, and then plan backwards. So let's say you have a paper that's due in week 10. That means that you probably need to start writing by, say, week 6, right? Which means that by week 5, you probably want to have an outline. That means that by week 4, you need to have done all of the research and gathered the sources that you need, right? So walking backwards through the process of all of your assignments, planning the time to study and do the work, really, that helps me as a faculty member to do my work, my writing work, right? And I advise my students to do it as well. I really appreciated your advice for next year's incoming first-gen students, the advice of using the campus resources, the tutoring services, LARC, the Writing Center. I cannot emphasize enough how much it's important to use the Writing Center. The key to good writing is rewriting. I'm a professional writer. I write for a living as a faculty member, and there's not a single thing that I've published that hasn't been rewritten like 20 times. So you're never so good of a writer that you don't need to rewrite. The Writing Center will help you with that. So thank you, Gretta, for being your usual positive self. I do want to say, though, to you and to all of the other students, it is okay to be negative at times. It is okay to have crappy moments, and it is okay to be weak. This is a really hard time, and none of us is a superhero, right? We are all weak, including myself. And one of the ways that COVID has impacted me is that, I'm at home trying to finish a book that is due to the press on January 31st. And I also have a little girl who's doing her schoolwork at home. That is hard and stressful. And the reality is that by noon or 1 o'clock every day, my brain is spinning and I'm so anxious that I have to stop and take what I call the COVID nap. Okay, so every day now, I take a nap in the middle of the day. Does it slow down my productivity? Yes. But does it make it possible for me to keep going during a pandemic? Yes, right? So, you need to do what you need to do in order to get through this time and be kind to yourself. It's okay to take breaks. What matters is that when you're done, when you're rested, you get back to it. So that's my advice for you today. Be kind to yourself and then get back at it. That's what I'm going to do now. I need to get back at my book. So I will see you next week.